curious about how the tech behind the scenes really works, or dreaming of becoming a DevOps engineer, this episode is your gateway. Today we have Kriti Gautham, a passionate DevOps practitioner, tech educator, and mentor. Kriti, thanks for joining us. Which cloud certifications should freshers aim in 2025?
They don't need to worry about it. That
Okay.
I don't have certificate, so I can't enter this field. No, it's not like that. At last, 15 minute, interviewer asked that, oh, you have certifications as well. Can we discuss about it?
I mean, which favors the most? MNCs or startups for students to get into this DevOps?
Yeah, definitely. You are so true. Like you are definitely saying right because it happened with.
Does AI can affect these DevOps roles, or else can help these DevOps roles?
Just tell what is asked. There is no need to tell more than what is asked.
I also agree with that.
I also
Yes.
agree with that.
Okay.
Leave your answer on a point where you know that if question will arise from here, I will be definitely able to answer it. So it will
Okay.
be a very positive point for you. You asked me what is cat. I replied cat is this, and I ended it somehow on dog. Now your next question will be what is dog or something like that. If you could understand what I'm trying to explain you.
Okay. So, why DevOps is one of the most in-demand careers in tech today?
What I can say is companies today want faster software delivery with fewer errors. Interviewers also try to calm you down that it's okay, it's just normal conversation. We are just talking, we are just discussing things.
So, we will do a task, okay, for 1 minute. You are an interviewer, I am a student. I am being very anxious, okay. Now, what you will do to let me cool down? Yeah. I am
You
eagerly
are not at all anxious at all. You are very comfortable already.
If a college student or a fresher wants to become a DevOps engineer, what's a clear roadmap you can suggest? I mean, year by year or step by step?
GitHub is something which is
Hi everyone, welcome back to the another exciting episode. I am Hrudesh. If you are a student or fresher curious about how the tech behind the scenes really works, or dreaming of becoming a DevOps engineer, this episode is your gateway. Today we have Kriti Gautham, a passionate DevOps practitioner, tech educator, and mentor to hundreds of aspiring developers. We are able to break down the complete roadmap to become a DevOps engineer in 2025, covering all the tools, skills, projects, interview tips, and so much more. Kriti, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thanks for inviting me, Rudesh.
Before we dive in, can you give us a little bit intro of yourself? I mean, what
Yeah.
you are doing?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Kriti Gautham. I'm passionate about DevOps Cloud and I have been working as a DevOps engineer. Also, I have been helping students understand real world tech beyond the classroom, as you know. And I have been actively involved in community work, hosting sessions, and guiding students in navigating tech world. Like with ease, definitely. The part is very important with ease. And I also love simplifying complex topics and empowering freshers to explore unconventional paths, more of like DevOps, if you say.
Okay, let's break it down. I mean, make it simple. What is DevOps? I mean, what does DevOps engineers actually do?
Okay. So, to describe it very, very simply, first of all, DevOps is a combination of two words, development and operations. So, DevOps is a culture, or you can say a set of practice that bridges the gap between software development and IT operations.
Okay,
And yeah, to simplify it more, if you allow me, I can share a DevOps flow with you.
you can.
As you can see, the symbol defines as an infinite, which start from planning phase, where teams sits together and they plan what project they want to make. There is a big role of UI UX developer in this. They design the project, design the prototype. Then it comes to coding. As you can see, the second one, coding phase, in which we do the code part. The developers do the code part. They build the project and then the testing phase comes. After testing, each project is released for the deployment purpose, and here the operation cycle starts. So after
Okay.
release, there is this deployment cycle where we deploy the project, and this release is done version wise basically. So version first, version second, and something like that. Then comes the operation part, where we do that security part, we manage the containers, we do that orchestration parts. So that is the operation parts, and then finally the monitoring part. So
Okay.
monitoring part is something where we monitor the project which is already deployed on the live website or the app, whatever it is, and
Okay.
there we set the alerting. So if there is heavy traffic or there is chances of crashing, the site crashing. So we monitor all those things with these. So basically, it is a infinite loop which goes on between development and operations, and this all
Okay.
is the DevOps.
So why DevOps is one of the most in demand careers in tech today? Because of this emerging of AI, they're shifting towards this DevOps. Right? What is the major reason behind that?
Yeah. So what I can say is companies today want faster software delivery with fewer errors. That's true. You
Hmm.
agree with this? So,
Okay.
yeah, DevOps makes that possible through automation, continuous testing, and deployment. So, let's talk about a basic student. If you are a student, now you can get a portfolio code from any of the GitHub sites. There are a lot
Okay.
of sites and there are a lot of YouTube videos where you can learn how to make a portfolio. But when
Okay.
it comes to doing it live, getting it live, then comes the operation part. So if
Hmm.
like as businesses go digital, DevOps
Okay.
ensure agility, scalability, and efficiency basically.
Okay.
So making it a must skill and have skill that a person should have, and it that's why it is most in demand role across industry, I guess.
Okay. I mean, yeah, most of these are not only a fresher, but I experienced once as well. Why they are shifting their careers? I mean, why they are showing the interest towards this DevOps? Is there any particular reason?
Yeah, there is a lot flexibility in it. And if I say so, it is definitely a high paying job. If you are 2 or 3 years of experience person and you are getting into a product based company, you can definitely get a handsome amount per month if you are a DevOps engineer in a product based company. Also, like there are limited language on which we have to work as a DevOps engineer. Like if we know Python, Bash, Go, Ruby, then it's okay. Like we
Hmm.
don't have to change languages every day, or we don't have to learn new languages every day. And
Okay.
there is one more thing, that we get to know a lot of tools. So we learn multi skills while working in DevOps. So that is the reason that you can grow your skills as well.
Okay. Also, one more thing to mention here. Does AI can affect these DevOps roles, or else can help these DevOps roles?
Yes. Uh, I won't support this that AI can, you know, replace this DevOps role, because
Okay.
uh, in development part, what happens is that AI gives the coding, the whole
Okay.
coding. We understand that we get to debug it for 5 days next straight, but then also it gives the basic code, basic structure, and basic project that we want.
Root folder, root structure, it generates.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, but when it comes to DevOps, it can't give the whole coding because there is no coding in it. There is this commands. So what AI can do for us is it can list the commands. Suppose we are deploying Kubernetes, so it can give us kubectl commands. It can give us the list of commands, but we are the only one who have to run it. And even if it gives the YAML file, even if it is giving the YAML file, then also we have to put our keys and our data according to us in
Hmm.
the YAML file. So AI can't give the whole uh, infrastructure as it is.
Okay. So human intervention is required for these DevOps roles.
Definitely. Like, running a pipeline is not
Okay.
something which AI can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Are there any underrated skills that recruiters quietly value during interview?
Um, okay. So if we are talking about underrated skill, as a fresher, when I was starting to learn DevOps, what I used to think that DevOps is something which only professionals can learn and professional can do. Or there is one more thing. I used to think that there is no subject named DevOps which has been teached to me, which has been taught to me in the college. So I can't do this. But when it came to interviews and when it came to learning DevOps, I got to know that yeah, there are two subjects that has been taught to me, that is networking and operating system. Now,
Okay.
both of these subjects are very important when it comes to DevOps and interviews. So, interviewer definitely value these skills if you have good knowledge in networking and if you have a good knowledge in operating system. Then
Right.
it's really a brownie point for you
Hmm.
in interview. So that is something. Also, there is one more thing. If you have basic knowledge of Linux, Git, and cloud, basic. I'm not saying you
Hmm.
have to be very pro in it. Just basic knowledge of Linux, Git, and cloud. Then definitely interviewer will value it.
Okay. So a DevOps is not only for experienced one. I mean, students can apply for these roles in MNCs.
Yes, students can definitely they uh, they don't come like this. First of all, when we talk about MNC, the common perception is to get into an MNC, we need to have a very strong bond in coding. That is DSA.
Okay. Yeah.
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 So when it comes to MNC, yeah, definitely, I would never neglect it that DS and OOPS is important. But if you want to enter as a DevOps engineer, if you want to enter as a operation team, if you want to make your presence in IT operation team of any MNC, then yes, you can do that. But before that, you must have a little knowledge about how operations work, like how
Hmm.
deployment part work. Because as a student, we neglect that. What we
Hmm.
think, if we have to make a website, we need to code and that's it. Front end is working, back end is working, database is working.
Hmm.
You are good to go. Like this
Hmm.
is something that we think. And also when we enter in first year, second year, what is told to us is as an extra skill, you can become a web developer, you can
Hmm.
become an app developer, or yeah.
Okay.
So basically, the two things which are told to us,
Hmm.
web
Hmm.
developer and
Hmm.
app developer.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
in both these things, we need to just code and, you know,
Hmm.
run it. But if you want to enter as a DevOps engineer, if you want to enter in operation field, you must have knowledge about deployment things, that how it works, at least a bare minimum, like cream
Hmm.
knowledge.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, yes, freshers can enter as a DevOps engineer in MNCs and any of the company. Not only MNCs, there are a lot of service-based companies also that are working good and they have like a good salary as well. So they are also
Okay.
high paying.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So basically, not only in MNC but also in service-based company, they can enter.
So the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Students can apply for the DevOps roles.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I mean, which favors the most? MNCs or startups for students to get into these DevOps roles?
Uh, See, uh, to be very honest,
Hmm.
when it comes to MNC and startup as a DevOps engineer, so it is really difficult if you are applying off campus to enter as a DevOps engineer in MNC, because what they
Mm.
ask is 2+ year experience, 4+year experience, or something like that. So if you are experienced, then if you're experienced, then it will be easy for you. But if
Mm.
you are new to the field, you just have internship experience, you just have, your basic knowledge. It will be
Okay.
easy for you to enter in a startup because they
Mm.
teach you a lot. Like, startups are best thing if you want to learn something. You will be continuously involved in project. You'll be continuously in contact with the team, and you
Mm.
always have that work pressure on you. So you'll definitely learn through it. So according to me, it will be easy for freshers to enter in startup as a DevOps engineer rather than applying for MNCs.
Okay. We can have a freedom, right? I mean, to propose any paper, to propose any framework, right?
Yes. Yeah. Also, you know when it comes to DevOps, I will never, ever, ever neglect this point that experience is very important. The more you have worked on the tools, the more you have worked on commands, the more you have worked on that black screen, you are more comfortable to
Mm.
go with.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Completely agree, Kriti. What you said is really true. Which cloud certifications should freshers aim in 2025? We have AWS Cloud Practitioner, Azure Fundamentals, a lot of other certifications, right? Can you,
Yeah.
yeah, can you break it down?
Yeah. Definitely. So I would suggest that it's really good if you have this AWS Cloud Practitioner certification, if you have AZ 900, that is Azure
Mm.
Fundamentals,
Mm.
AI 900, AI Fundamentals,
Mm.
Data Fundamentals, that is DP 900. You can also have Security Fundamentals in Microsoft certification, that is SC 900. So there are
Okay.
certifications like these that are basic certifications
Mm.
which a person can long for. And after that, you can move to AWS Solution Architect Associate. That is a middle level, intermediate level
Mm.
certification. There is Azure Administrator, that is AZ104 certification. So these are the certification that you may long for. But with this, I would also say that if you are a student and if you are not willing to invest, we all know that these certification are of some cost. We
Mm.
have to pay.
Mm.
Either we get a voucher to give the certification test. If we pass it in one go, then it's good, and if we didn't, then we have to pay something to get it again, the certification. So if you are a student and if you don't want to invest that money, if you are not willing to invest that money, then also it's not very mandatory as a fresher to have the certificate. Like,
Okay.
it will be a, you know I would say it will be a brownie point, it will be a good show to your resume. But if you don't have, then also they don't need to worry about it, that
Okay.
I don't have certificate so I can't enter this field. No, it's not like that. If you
Okay.
have good knowledge, if you have practical knowledge, if you have explored, let's say, AWS, if you have explored features of AWS, if you have explored uh, the tools of AWS, so it's good to go. You are good to go.
Okay. So no need to worry, right? At initial stage, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at initial stage, it is good. Like,
Mm.
yeah, it is good, really good. If you get a voucher, you always long for vouchers. See, when I was in my second year, so there were some events going on in Microsoft. Uh,
Okay.
as I told, I am involved in community events, so I had knowledge about it. And at that time, they were giving vouchers for completing certain number of lessons. So I got 4 or 5 vouchers at that time,
Okay.
and I cleared 4 certificate back to back in 15 days of Microsoft. So it was starting from AZ 900 to SC 900. I
Okay.
cleared 4x certifications in Microsoft. So it was at that time when I had those vouchers. After
Okay.
that, we didn't like get to any event where they were providing vouchers. And if students are there if they get the opportunity to get the vouchers by completing some lessons or something, then they should go for it. I I would suggest that having certification is good, but worrying about is no.
Okay. Also, add one more point. There is a myth, right? I mean, if we have 10 certifications, it might take us to a certain level of package. No. Along with certification, you need to add value also, right? You need
Yes.
to answer, you need to speak something about it during your interview. Whatever certifications you place, you need to speak something about it, right?
Yeah, definitely. You are so true. Like you are definitely saying right because it happened with see one of my very close friend.
Okay.
She had some 2, 3, 4 certification in her resume, and she was sitting in a company interview. It was very good company. I won't name it, but it was a very good company, and everything was going so fine. She had very good knowledge of DSA, OOPS, networking,
Okay.
DBMS, everything. And at last, 15-minute, interviewer asked that, oh, you have certifications as well. Can we discuss about it? She like, "Ki, yes, I have certifications. And she acquired it almost a year or 2 year ago, so she didn't revise it, like the concepts.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what happened was really not good. So she wasn't able to, answer all the questions asked by the interviewer. She tried her best, but again, these n number of certification didn't land her to that company.
Okay.
If she wouldn't have added it in her resume, then maybe she would have been there now
Okay.
because
So,
she replied everything else very properly except the certification part. So if you are adding certification to your resume, you must know about it.
you need to be very careful, right? While
Yeah,
adding. Yeah.
yeah,
You need to think twice, thrice. Are we able to answer on the questions or not?
yeah. Or see, there was one interviewer who gave me this, feedback when we were talking. Uh,
Okay.
he said that Kriti, if you don't know about the certification, if you don't have idea about those certificates, you can answer that sir or ma'am or whosoever is he or she that I have acquired the certification a year or a 2 year ago when I was a very curious learner,
Okay.
and for now I haven't revised them so well, and I can tell you the basic about it, but if you go into the deeper topics of it,
Hmm.
it might miss out because because of the time and all.
Yeah.
So it will sound as an honest answer rather than just fumbling around the questions.
Okay. Will this
Yeah,
work? I mean, not in all
being
the cases.
being honest works, no doubt, because
Being honest.
if you are fumbling around the interviewer, he or she already knows कि you don't know the answer, you are
Mm.
just wasting the time, you are just stretching the interview. If
Okay.
you just say that yes, this happened and this was a few years ago and I am not able to revise it, or I didn't able to revise it because of so much pressure, I had to do DSA, DBMS, everything.
Mm.
So it might sound more positive rather than fumbling around the question that yay, it may be, or something like that. So,
Definitely, this will work for most of the students. I think so.
it
Yeah.
should.
Glad it will be helpful.
Yeah.
If a college student or a fresher wants to become a DevOps engineer, what's a clear roadmap you can suggest? I mean, year by year or step by step? I mean, we have a lot of tools, right? Git, Docker, Jenkins, Ansible, Kubernetes. Right? How to break it down?
Yeah. So I prepared this roadmap 1 year ago. So I would love to share it with you.
Sure, sure.
That is the same roadmap which I have also followed to learn DevOps.
Okay,
So
okay.
I guess it will be very helpful for students. Just a minute. This is the whole roadmap which I preferred for learning,
Okay.
starting from the server administration. First of all, let me clear it. The darker yellow part is something which I recommend as a to a fresher to study
Okay. Okay.
first, because there are a lot of things which are involved in DevOps, but I won't suggest you to jump directly to everything. DevOps is something which you learn one by one, step by step. So these darker yellow part are something which you should go on first. So starting it from server administration. So Linux is something which you must know if you are trying to work on DevOps, if you are want to move towards the DevOps. So Linux is something which is mandatory, and you should have basic knowledge of Linux and its command, that how it
Okay.
works, how operating system works, and all like that. On
Okay.
Windows also we can work, but we need to install external Linux, and basically it is important.
Okay.
So you must have the knowledge of Linux first.
Okay.
Then when we come to programming and scripting languages, so Python and Bash, that these two things are very important because
Okay.
we code in Python, we run the commands in Bash, and we just do that YAML part. All the things that we do in Linux is based on Python and Bash mostly.
Okay.
After that, you may move to Java, Ruby, or Go according to your need.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the third one is Git. We
Okay.
all know version control is very important. Either you are learning DevOps, or you are a developer, or you are doing anything. GitHub is something which is very important. Even in our college projects also, we use GitHub, and it is,
Okay.
a backbone to any of the projects. So Git is something which you must have knowledge about. Then moving to network and security, we have
Okay.
TCP/IP fundamental protocols like DNS, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, SSL. So these are the basic things that you must have knowledge, so that you can know that how packets are sent, how packets are received, how things are going at the back end.
And the fifth one,
Uh,
cloud.
yeah, the fifth one is cloud. So as far as I have seen, that AWS is mostly used in companies. I don't say that Azure and GCP is not being used, but the most used cloud platform is AWS. And I have also personally worked on AWS the most. I also have Azure certification and GCP certifications as well. But as a fresher, to a fresher, I will recommend AWS as your first cloud platform that you must learn about. There are a lot of services, there are a lot of tools that you can learn, starting from EC2, IAM, and a lot are there. So it is
Okay.
easy, and it is useful also. And moving toward the sixth, there is this infrastructure as code, IAC, that we call it. Again, here it comes the container. In container, there is Docker. Now, the part which I was mentioning, that we have to containerize the application in three things: front end, back end, database, in the previous question. It will be done using this Docker only. So
Okay.
we pack our code in containers using the Docker. To
Okay.
manage all these Dockers, we have orchestration tools. Here it is Kubernetes. Now Kubernetes is an orchestration tool that manages all these containers, and like how much time they have to be up, and if there are traffic, how many containers need to be added, and many more things like that. If we talk
Okay.
about Helm, so Helm is a package manager, so for Kubernetes. So it is a tool which helps Kubernetes to make charts, and it also help in building and versioning of the Kubernetes application. Sorry, containers. So Helm is something which you'll learn eventually after learning Kubernetes. It's not something which we have to do before Kubernetes. Then we have in configuration management Ansible and Salt. I would suggest that configuration management is something which students can skip for a later part as well if they are not willing to do it now. But container and container orchestrator are something which needs to be done, and the priority. Then
Okay.
infrastructure provisioning, we have Terraform. And for all these things, they can prefer to official documents and many more YouTube videos that are there. So after the sixth one, we have the CI/CD. Now, continuous integration, continuous deployment is what CI/CD is. And here, what happens that if there is any change in the code on the developer side, it will be automatically reflected on the production, the live website. So this is the whole loop of development and deployment on the production level. That is what managed by CI/CD, and the tools are Jenkins, GitLab CI. So they can start with Jenkins or GitLab CI according to the need of the project. And if they are not working on a real-time project, then they can just have the theoretical knowledge about CI/CD as well, because it is a little complex if they are just not working on a real-time project, because there are some pipelines and all which needs to be made. So having a theoretical knowledge, having a basic knowledge that what it does is also good enough if they are preparing for an interview only. Then when it comes to server, there are web servers like Apache, Nginx. Uh, this is something which we put before the project. Suppose there is a box
Okay.
in which the whole project is packed, and we have to put a security around it that no one else can, you know, communicate with it without our knowledge, or no hackers could reach to it. So basically, we put web server security around it, and there are a lot of things that web server provide, including the security part as mentioned. So this is something that they can move to. And at last, I would say monitoring and logging. So this is the last phase of DevOps cycle,
Okay.
monitoring and logging part. So for this, they can use Prometheus and Grafana. I would again say that if they are not working on a real-time project, then having a basic theoretical knowledge about all these tools are enough to crack an interview, to tell a interviewer, because
Okay.
in interviews also interviewers know that the student is fresher, so they must not have worked on everything and every tool. If they have basic knowledge, then also it's good, it's fine, it's good to go. So that's all. This is the whole roadmap using which one can learn DevOps.
Thank you, Kriti.
Thank you so much.
What kind of DevOps projects should students or job seekers need to include in their resumes? Can you share a couple of project ideas relevant to real world use cases?
Yes. uh, so when we are student, what we think is making a basic website,
Mm,
something like an e-commerce website, that would be a
mm,
good project. See, and it turns out to be a good project. So going into DevOps field, you need not to deviate from the project. If you have made an e-commerce website, so
okay.
you just have to now deploy it. You just have to now containerize it. You just have to now, you know, make it able to launch on live website. See,
Okay.
you have to work on the operation part. Basically, if you are going to have a DevOps project, what you can do, if we are talking about very basic,
Mm,
make a website, make a portfolio, or make any website which
okay.
consists of front end, back end, or little database, and it should be, a little good to look at. Just
Okay.
look at.
Okay.
Then what a student can do is deploy it using a microservice application first.
Okay.
The code to direct the production server. Okay,
Mm,
if you have a basic website, you can
okay.
first deploy it using monolithic method. Now
Okay.
in monolithic, what happens? You just deploy the code directly to the production server without
Okay.
doing any differentiation in between them. That
Okay.
is the monolithic deployment.
Okay. One
Yeah.
thing to mention. What is monolithic here? In simple terms.
Monolithic. Yeah. So, as the name suggests, mono, that is single.
Single.
Yeah. So you have to deploy your whole project as a single entity to the production
Okay.
server.
Got it.
So that is monolithic.
Okay.
If you have combined your whole project as a single entity, then it is monolithic deployment.
Got it.
The first step of deployment when you are a student, when you are learning, when you are a fresher, is monolithic deployment only. Everyone tells you to learn with monolithic deployment,
Okay.
and then you can move to microservices.
Okay.
Now, in microservices, what happens that you distribute your project into different entity according to the build of the project, architecture of the project. As said, there is front end, back end, and database in the project. Now you can differentiate these into three different entities:
Okay.
the front end, back end, and the
Mm.
database part. Now you can deploy these three entities to the production server.
Mm.
What good will happen doing this? If one of the, suppose your database crashes, your
Okay.
front end and back end don't crash. So
Mm.
they work independently. Now
Okay.
this is microservice deployment. So starting your website with a monolithic deployment, you can change it to microservice deployment. So that is a project. That is a complete whole project. You can explain the interviewer that I built this website. First of all, I deployed it using the monolithic method, monolithic deployment. Then I turned it from monolithic to microservice. So this is a project where I have done monolithic to microservice deployment transition. That's a project.
Okay. Need to communicate. I mean, whatever the things that we did, we need to communicate effectively during our interview.
Yes.
It comes
Yes.
from practice. Simple.
Yeah, definitely. If you have knowledge about everything, like interviewer will definitely ask that if you have deployed your project as a microservice project in microservice deployment,
Mm.
then what was the process? How did you
Okay.
do that?
Okay.
So you have to be mentally prepared to explain that container. You have to be mentally prepared to explain that Kubernetes part. You have to be mentally prepared to explain all those commands that you used.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is what a DevOps project is. It is not something which is beautiful to look, but it is something which clears your concept, if I say.
It's a really great breakdown, Kriti.
There is one more thing that I would love to add because I missed it. If your project combines of a little AWS cloud services, EC2 instances or something, and if you could show that hello sir, I made this project and this is launched on this EC2 instance,
Mm.
and these are the security rules and these are the keys that I have used in these EC2 instance and AWS part, it will definitely throw a very good impact on the interviewer if you have a little AWS concept involved in it.
I mean, not only the theoretical part, we need to project our practical experience as well.
Yes. It happens in DevOps interview that interviewer asks you to bring your laptop where the project was made and deployed, or they can ask you to share the screen if
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
And if you have AWS used in it, they may ask you to log into your AWS account if you are comfortable to do so, and if you are, if you have mentioned that you have used AWS and these are the instances,
Okay.
interviewer may ask you to show that how project is running, how project is live, and on which EC2 instance it is live. So a single project of DevOps is enough if you are trying to get into DevOps role.
Okay.
Just the crunch is you should have knowledge about all it. You should know the concept.
Okay. Need to be familiar with all the fundamentals, first of all.
Yes.
Right?
At least with those you are mentioning.
What are the most common DevOps interview questions in this 2025? Any five you can share.
Okay. So the first question may be related to networking. What is TCP/IP protocol? what is DNS, what's the difference between HTTP, what's the difference between HTTPS. So these are the networking questions. Then the question may come to Docker and virtual machine. What's the difference between Docker and a virtual machine?
Okay.
Why do we use Docker? Why don't we use virtual machine if we are doing this? Um, the third question may be related to infrastructure as a code.
Okay.
That Kubernetes Helm part.
Mm.
Again, we can have CI/CD related questions, that how a code is made on that developer's laptop and how it is going to the production server. So you may explain a little bit of CI/CD in it. And yeah, there is one more question which is very basic. Everyone asks that what is DevOps and what's the DevOps workflow?
Simple. Everything comes from practice, right? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. If yeah, you can't neglect practice in DevOps. It's not something which will come to theory only. Practical is very important.
Okay. I mean, when compared to the other fields, I mean, not every field is, it's not easy, but when compared to this full stack, right? When compared to this some testing roles or some other roles, this DevOps required a lot of human intervention, right? Human presence
Yes,
is required at every stage.
yes. That's why you asked me the question, na? Will AI replace DevOps engineers? No, AI can't replace DevOps engineers.
Hmm.
It can give us the command. It can ease our task, but it can't replace us. It can never replace us.
Okay. What's the major mistake freshers should avoid in this DevOps interview?
Okay. So this is not only for DevOps interview, it is for any other interview you are giving. Just tell what is asked. There is no need to tell more than what is asked. So if we relate if we come back to our DevOps point, if we relate it with DevOps, so suppose something is asked to you, a question is asked, and you are just explaining, and you said a few tools name.
Mm. Mm.
See, Ansible, Terraform, something like that. You use some name while explaining that particular question. Now the next question will definitely be, what is Ansible? What is Terraform? Have you used it? Have you worked on it? And if you don't have idea about it, then it will be a very negative point for you, that why
Yeah.
did you use, I didn't even ask you to
Okay.
use all these terms. You could explain your answer without using these terms. So this is something which every student do in their the mistake which every student do in their starting interviews, that they try to tell everything that they
Mm.
know.
Everything or anything.
Everything or anything,
Mm.
that is even not required,
Mm.
and it sometimes backfired them.
Mm. True. So true, Kriti. I also agree with that.
I also
Just
agree with that.
okay. Just only answer the things whatever required, whatever they have been asked.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Also leave your answer on a point where you know that if question will arise from here, I will be definitely able to answer it. So it will
Okay.
be a very positive point for you. So suppose you asked me what is cat, I replied cat is this, and I ended it somehow on dog. Now your next question will be what is dog or something like that. If you could understand what I'm trying to
Okay.
explain you.
Okay.
So if you are asking me what is dog, now I am very confident that I know what is dog, and I purposely ended the answer like that, so that you ask the question from me. So that is something which increase the conversation as well, and it definitely increase your points also, that you have answered these many number of questions correctly.
Just answer only for the things, only for the task that you have been asked. Not more than that, not below that, right? What are some common misconceptions about DevOps you came across?
Okay, so common misconceptions. uh, Misconception is something like that which I thought. I'll tell you my personal experience. It was
Okay.
my misconception.
Oop.
In the first second year, I didn't even know about DevOps. I didn't know a term like DevOps exists also in this world. And there happened an event. A tutor came. He told us that I am working as a DevOps engineer in XYZ company,
Okay.
and we were like, DevOps? We knew developers, we knew web development, we knew app development. What is this
What is
DevOps
DevOps?
thing? Yeah, what is this
Okay.
DevOps things? So he started explaining us the same way I explained you all these time, that development, operation, they
Mm.
collide,
Mm.
they
Mm.
bridge the gap, and everything like that. And what we thought, this is not for us. This is for someone who is very experienced. This is for someone who is professional, and this is for someone in whose college this is being taught. Like, this has been taught. And that was the misconception that I had, that
Mm.
freshers can't start with DevOps. And you won't believe, in third year, I just jumped to DevOps, and from there, I am only doing DevOps engineering. So,
Okay.
yeah, that was my misconception that broke.
Okay. So DevOps is not only for experienced. A
Yes.
student who are passionate, who have the ability to gain expertise, for all these skills, can apply for these DevOps roles, right?
Yeah. Just one thing, that you don't have to learn everything in one go.
Okay.
If you are learning step by step, you are good to go. Like, most of the people think that there are a lot of tools that are involved and
Mm.
I have to know everything, then only we can learn DevOps. No. If you are starting from basic Linux, you are taking 1 week, 2 weeks in learning Linux only, then it's good. Now you are moving to, Git. You took 1, 2 weeks in that as well. That is how we go. That is how we learn. That is how we enter in DevOps, not in one go at all.
Okay. Also, one more point to add on. Whenever they're applying for any interviews, one question is to hustle their mind, right? I mean, am I prepared completely?
Hmm.
Whatever the skills I know, whatever the practice I have did so far, is this will be sufficient?
Yes, this happens to, I guess, each and every one of us.
Mm.
Whether you are applying for a DevOps role, whether you are applying for a developer role, whether you are applying for a, full stack, any of the roles, it always happens that I know, but will I be able to explain this?
Mm. Mm.
Will it hit my mind at that time when interviewer is
Mm.
asking?
Mm.
So yes, it happens. You know, everyone get anxious in the initial, and while going through the interview, they get comfortable. They get, if they know the answer, they get comfortable and they answer the questions
Okay.
perfectly.
Okay. So at initial stages, it's fine. Being confused, everything is fine at the initial stage. But okay, everything falls under our place according to time, right?
Yeah. Interviewers also try to, calm you down, that
Mm.
it's
Mm.
okay. It's just normal conversation. We are just talking. We are just discussing things. So it's really okay. It's like, it's more of like discussion when you are giving an interview. If you know the concept, if you had an idea about it someday or somehow, so you will get easy and you will get, comfortable in that environment.
Okay. So we will do a task. Okay, for 1 minute. You are an interviewer. I'm a student. I'm being very
Okay.
anxious. Okay. Now what you will do to let me cool down?
Okay. Uh, okay, let's start with, hi Ridesh. How are you? Let me brief like myself.
Okay.
So I'm Kriti and I'm working in this XYZ company.
Okay.
And today we are here for this XYZ role.
Okay.
And I guess you are interested in it.
Yeah. I am
You
eagerly
are not at all anxious at all. You are very comfortable already.
No, yeah, as you mentioned earlier, right? Based upon the episodes, right? That is why I'm being comfortable now. And during my
So how to calm you down if you are already comfortable.
Okay. What I would suggest is it's okay. Being anxious at early stages is fine. It's normal for everyone. It's okay. You'll
Also,
get to
there is
know.
one more point. The I'm not suggesting that you should give more and more interviews. I wish that you get selected in the first interview only,
Okay.
but it doesn't happen. Like,
Mm.
it is, a game of luck. If you are selected in the first interview only, you gave one interview and you are selected in the company. So it is something which doesn't happen with everyone. We give 10, 15, 20 interviews. Like, I have also given so many interviews, and by the time you move to first to second, second to third, third to fourth interview, you get comfortable. You know that every interviewer will come, they'll give their introduction, they'll ask you for the introduction, they'll ask the question which is, relatable to your resume,
Mm,
and
mm,
they'll ask question related to projects.
mm.
So you get comfortable by the time that, yeah, this is the pattern and this is something which is going to happen every time.
Okay.
So yeah, number of interviews also play a crucial role in getting comfortable.
Okay. We have trained many students, right? What platforms
Yeah.
or communities would you recommend for learners?
Okay. So according to me,
Okay.
when I was learning, I am still learning, no doubt, because there are a lot to learn.
Okay.
So there are three parts in which I have divided my learning.
Mm,
First of all, studying it from a website, the theories, the
mm,
definitions, the commands, everything, studying it from website. The second part goes with the videos, that we watch the videos. We watch YouTube videos that help us to understand that UI part, which help us to understand that, you know, where to click, what to click, when to click, and
mm.
how it looks. So that is the video part. And the third one is practical. As I said, DevOps is all about practical. Even any technology is about practical. So you have to do practicals. If you are a developer as well, then also we use VS Code. We also develop websites. So practical is very important. In DevOps, the if we talk about the first one, where to study the definition,
Mm, mm,
commands, and
mm.
everything. So the official documentation is best, really, really best.
Okay.
If you want to study Docker, just search Docker official documentation. There will be the first site, docker.docs.ops,
Mm,
something like that. If you are searching for Kubernetes, so search for Kubernetes official documentation. The first site will pop up, kubernetes.io or something like that.
mm,
So that is something from where you can learn the definition, where you can learn the architecture, where you can understand that what are the trees, what are the components of a particular tool. Suppose if we are talking about Kubernetes, there are a lot of component under the Kubernetes as well, like pod, node, cluster, more and more.
mm,
Okay,
mm.
so if you want to study all about those components, if you want to get the basic idea about them, that what are the commands, what's the definition, why is it used, how is it relatable, so official documentation is best for the theory purpose. When it comes to video, then I would suggest Udemy, and one more, Tech World with Nana. I have preferred it. So it
Mm,
they
mm.
teach DevOps. So for video purpose, you can go to them.
Okay.
And for the practical purpose, there is this platform called Code Cloud. Now
Okay.
this is
Mm,
KODE Cloud. There is
mm,
no
mm.
C in it.
Okay. Okay.
Code Cloud.
Okay.
So that is the platform where you can do the practical things. And yeah, I guess following these three steps, starting from documentation, then moving to videos, then moving to the practical, you are good to go and you are good to learn.
Great.
That's how I learned, basically.
One more great breakdown. Glad. Okay. Before we wrap up, what one piece of advice for freshers and professionals who are passionate about this DevOps?
Okay, so there is this one line that I really want to say. Do
Okay.
not let this jungle of tools overwhelm you.
True.
You know?
Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
You know, I know, we know that there are a lot of tools.
Mm.
And we have to study and we have to work on it someday.
Okay.
Okay? But not today.
Okay.
We have to start with basic.
Okay.
If you're even switching your job, if you are even starting your career, if you are even at initial,
Mm.
you need to start one by one, step by step, not everything at once.
Okay.
And again, there is this thing that after seeing a lot of things, after seeing a lot of tools, you do not let yourself to get demotivated
True.
that no, this is not for me, this has a very broad syllabus,
Mm.
and no, I can't do that. No, that is not you true. If you are curious about learning tools, if you are curious learner, if you are really a person who want to jump into this operation field, you'll really enjoy it. You'll enjoy learning each and every tool. They are very interesting, to be honest. So the one piece of advice is, do not let this jungle of tools overwhelm you.
Overall, I agree with that. I agree. Thank you. Thank you. Kriti, your insights today have simplified DevOps for so many. Thank you so much for the entire clarity and confidence that you gave for all our viewers. And to all my viewers, if you are even thinking about how to start DevOps, now this is the right time to act. If you found this episode valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, share this to a friend and follow for more. See you in the next episode.